Welcome to our channel, where history unfolds beyond the headlines. We are turning the pages of history today to uncover the life and death of Ahmad Shah Massoud, the Lion of Panjshir. His name, echoing through the Afghan mountains, speaks of defiance against empires, but a calculated act on September 9, 2001, silenced his roar. Join us as we explore Massoud's relentless fight for freedom and uncover the truth behind the assassination that silenced a powerful voice. In 1953, Massoud's life became intertwined with conflict from a young age. Witnessing the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979, he joined the resistance, becoming a formidable commander. His knowledge of the Panjshir Valley, a labyrinthine network of gorges and cliffs, proved invaluable. Here, he outmaneuvered the technologically superior Soviet forces, earning the respect of his people and the fear of his enemies. Massoud, alongside other Mujahideen leaders, waged a brutal war of attrition against the Soviet Union. Their hit-and-run tactics, ambushes, and knowledge of the terrain inflicted heavy losses on the Soviets. The world watched in awe as the Afghan resistance defied a superpower. Years of bloody conflict and international pressure finally led to the Soviet withdrawal in 1989. Massoud, hailed as a national hero, returned to Kabul, but peace remained elusive. Afghanistan descended into a brutal civil war between rival Mujahideen factions. With the Soviets gone, Afghanistan descended into a brutal civil war. From the south arose a new threat, the Taliban. Their rise to power was fueled by a strict and conservative interpretation of Islam, gaining strength in religious schools across the border in Pakistan. The Taliban promised to restore peace and order, a message that initially resonated with many Afghans weary of war. However, Massoud, a man who had spent years fighting for his country's freedom, saw through the Taliban's veneer. He recognized the dangers of their ideology, a harsh interpretation of Islam that would severely restrict the lives of Afghans, particularly women. He had witnessed firsthand the horrors of war, and the Taliban's brutal tactics and disregard for human rights deeply troubled him. Massoud refused to submit to the Taliban's vision for Afghanistan. He believed a free and democratic Afghanistan was possible, and he wouldn't stand idly by as the Taliban threatened to extinguish that dream. This conviction led him to form the Northern Alliance, a coalition of forces determined to resist the Taliban's takeover. For the Taliban and their allies, including Al-Qaeda, Massoud represented a formidable obstacle. His leadership and unwavering resistance threatened their plans for a totalitarian Afghanistan. They saw his elimination as a critical step in consolidating their power, ultimately leading to the tragic events of September 9, 2001, just days before the 9/11 attack in the U.S. Massoud knew he was a target. The Taliban and their allies, including Al-Qaeda, wanted him eliminated. He lived a life of constant vigilance, rarely staying in one place for long. Security measures were strict, with visitors thoroughly vetted and meetings held in unpredictable locations. Traveling on stolen Belgian passports, the assassins reached Massoud's base in Khawaja Bahauddin village. They pretended to be filming a documentary and requested an interview with Massoud. The assassins had very meticulously crafted their cover stories. They even presented a concocted backstory printed on the letterhead of an Islamic center in Britain. But Massoud was too busy for an interview. The assassins calmly and patiently waited there for almost 3 weeks. They never showed their eagerness or unnecessarily insisted on the interview. However, on the 8th of September, they grew impatient and threatened to leave if the interview did not happen in the next 24 hours. Finally, they were able to secure a meeting with Massoud for September 9, 2001. For recording the interview, Massoud's close aide and a journalist, Fahim Dashti, was setting up his own camera when they handed over their questions to the commander's close aide, Masoud Khalili, for translation as the questions were written in Arabic. There were also questions about bin Laden, It is said that the journalist was very calm, but the cameraman had a nasty smile. They started asking their questions. Why are you against Osama bin Laden? And why are you talking about terrorism? It's Islam. It's not terrorism. Just as Massoud heard the translation, and before he could respond, there was an explosion. It is said that one bomb was hidden inside the camera and the other in the suicide belt. The blast ripped through the room, killing both attackers and Massoud. The shrapnel also injured several others present at the meeting. The Taliban even announced on the radio, "Your leader is dead and you're done." The world was left stunned. The assassination of such a prominent figure sent shockwaves through Afghanistan and the international community. Many, including Afghan civilians, saw him as the only leader capable of uniting the country and preventing the Taliban's rise to power. His death created a major power vacuum, but the death of the leader gave the people another reason to fight harder. It, however, left a crucial question unanswered. Did this calculated assassination pave the way for the devastating events of 9/11? It is said that his assassination was directly ordered by Osama bin Laden. The full impact of Ahmad Shah Massoud's death may never be fully known. Some believe it emboldened al-Qaeda, paving the way for the horrific attacks of 9/11. Others believe he would have been a significant force against the Taliban's brutal extremism. Massoud's life story, however, remains a powerful testament to resilience and resistance. He was a symbol of Afghan defiance, a man who defied superpowers and fought tirelessly for his nation's freedom. Even after his death, Massoud's legacy continues to spark debate and intrigue. His assassination left a void in the Afghan leadership. Would his presence have altered the course of history in Afghanistan? What might the country look like today if he had survived? The unfinished fight of the lion remains a source of ongoing discussion. Share your thoughts in the comments below and help keep the conversation going.